little bit similar to what we saw up near Wirksworth on the High Peak Trail, which we saw the other side of it. That is wicked, isn't it? How I just met him, one of the main YouTubers who does a lot of videos himself. There's a bit more about the pump house. There's that building again. There's good yard, but the roof here looks a bit like the roof where the old station was in Nottingham, near where Virgin Active is now. There we go again. In fact, the train station has got a similar design on top of it as well. So we're walking back down this side now towards the High Peak Junction. Hopefully we're not going to find that many people there like it was when we came. I saw this from the other side. It's just a plaque. And then there's an outer house there. I questioned if it was a toilet earlier. I think it's just some shed that was here. I know. We're back at the High Peak Junction. We crossed there earlier. We went all the way down that side. And we're back here. This High Peak Junction holds some of the oldest railway buildings that exist to date. And just in front here is an old signal. I can see it right there. And here we have it on the left hand side as well. The story of one of the world's first railways. And there's the incline where we're going later, up there. Here's this old signal right here. So somewhere where we're standing now, more or less where we are now, the double track came from just where this gentleman is coming from that side. And it went round here and then turned up the incline where we're going in a minute. We will have to look at overlay maps and also old images. But literally here where the workshops was, the double tracked bed went in that direction towards where the where the wharf was originally. So somewhere around where we're standing is where the double track went. And then it went across there, near where the signal is, and then up in that direction, which we will take in a minute. I'm just going to see what's in there, because I've noticed something. So right here, where the workshops were, we're exactly on top. In fact, I can just spot the line that I was talking to you about. Yeah. So that line I was on about to you a minute ago, that said that came around here somewhere and went that way, I reckon was just here. And here's some of the old sides of the railway track as well. And it went here, and here we have some information. What do we have here? Nice. Got lots of old hats. I'm assuming a gaiter protected the hanger on legs from dirt and grease. That must be that little grey thing there. Then we got an old signal thing right here. We got a little model of the Leewood pump house that we saw earlier. A railway lamp. A witch box. What was that then? A bit of mystery object. Our guess is that wicks were kept wrapped in the bottom drawer. Yeah. Perhaps they soaked wick in the container above, although it's easier to fit a dry wick to a lamp. Old engine house phone. I know my wife's going to be taking photos, so that's always good. But this actual building where we're in was part of the old workshops. And there's a picture of where we're going to go. Shows you there the double track that I was on about. And that is obviously part of the same railway that we took when we were in Wirksworth. And that's where the other YouTuber, Wobbly Runner, I asked him, he said that's where he's going up today, to Middleton, towards Harbour Rocks, where we've been already. There's a little bit more information about the Cromford and High Peak Railway, which is the incline we're going to take. And we are here. We're near Cromford Canal. We're here where it says High Peak Junction. And you can go much further up. There's much more places, all the way up to Buxton, which is a place we're going to go in the future, actually, Buxton, because my wife wants to see a big lagoon that's near Buxton, near Whaley Bridge. So that's the whole extent of where it went, the whole line. There's some more stuff about the area. Bit there about the pump house itself. The inside, etc. Bit of mechanism, how it works. And this, I believe, is where we're going. Because one of the most dramatic railways in England, yeah. Former Cromford and High Peak Rail, that's it. That's where we were at the other side when we were in Wirksworth and near the Stone Centre. Middleton Top engine. Middleton Top's where we went when we went to Harbour Rocks. We went past there, which is now a cafe. And there's another incline of the railways coming up. So yeah, interesting. Old railway plaques. This isn't old, this is new. But you can see the old shed or workshop we're in right now. And here again, this is where we are now. So that's, yeah. That down there is the goods yard where we were not long ago. So that's the goods yard where we were. And there it shows you how the trains came along there. So the railway did come along there as well, where we've just walked. And them little houses would have been something to do with the railway and the wagons of coal. And then that is where we are now. We are there, right in there. That's where we are now, guys. So yeah, where we just walked from the goods yard, there would have been a railway track as well. I didn't know that when I was coming up. I thought it started here, but the bit that I told you where it came off here into the wharf is right where you can see them little men working on the line there. That was just here. And this was one of the workshops. It's all here, the old railway line. like a benches joiner in there. And here we have, again, to show you. Oh, you can go through there. I wasn't sure. Beware of the trains. Look both up and down the line before you cross. Old materials, lamps. So this was the fitter's workshop right here. And there we have one of the replica trains just there. All the different utensils are used. Iron ore was another thing that they used to get. Iron ore transported as well down the canal onto the railway lines. I don't know what this is. This is old as well. What is this? This is from Elverston Castle. Imagine that. That is cool. Big chains. The blacksmith's forge. Look at these for the lines, train lines, shunters. I'm pretty sure this wasn't open when I came many years ago. I came here in the 1980s. I said, what is the train? I don't think there was trains here, but I'm pretty sure there was still railway lines about. The hanger-on tools. Very heavy, really heavy. So yeah, right here. So where we've just walked from, okay, which was down there towards the yard, there would have been railway lines there as well. So I'm going to try and see if I can find any. How do you know they came along here? So I'm assuming they came along the floor. There was the ones that went towards the old wharf, and then there was other railway lines that went actually along there where we've just come from, towards the goods yard. That would make sense. I'd love to see overlay photos or old photos or maps. It's overcast still not too hot, not too cold. It's a good day. And that incline, wow, that's going to be something. I'll have a coffee, maybe an energy drink or something. No, I don't drink energy drinks, but something to give me a bit of energy. And then we're going to walk up that incline. It's going to be epic. So we're leaving the High Peak Junction here, guys. The old bridge here I've just noticed there, that crosses there. And we are heading up the incline. Now, these trains, which by the way are replicas, and they also were brought here by another part of the UK, these were to pull down the two-tracked bed. So, obviously, the line came down here and then all the way up to the other side towards Worksworth, etc. But these carriages were to kind of shunt them, to stop them from rolling all the way down the hill. And there was a crash site, and I'll show you, that's a bit further up. We can see the old crash site, but you can also see here how it ended here until they went off to the right down to the goods yard, and the left towards the wharf. But some of them did escape and ended up, I believe one of them ended up in the canal, out of all places, and others were stopped along the way. So these were kind of locomotives to kind of usher them up and down the hill, if that makes sense. That's the best way to describe that. Yeah, that is cool, isn't it? So here we are inside an old carriage. My wife is going to conduct the railway journey today. That's the incline where we're going. So we're back on the High Peak Trail, the Cromford and High Peak Railway Line. Yeah. And there you can see how it went. And there was two railways, double tracked railway. A little bit similar to what we saw up near Wirksworth on the High Peak Trail, which we saw the other side of it. So a little bit further up here, guys, we've got various things along the way, but we do have a bit further up a place where it shows you where there was a crash site, and it shows you where the wagons used to escape, let's say, and where they ended up in. What do you say? It's a nice view.
Nice walk.
Nice walk. It's a nice walk. So this bit here, under here, which you can still look into on the other side, which is overgrown, but was where the wagons from the line ended. Let's say the ones that escaped ended up down there. There was like a bit where they escaped. And including around here as well, guys, there was a crash site. Not too sure if it's right here or a bit further up, but you can go and have a look, because I've been told that you can do that. So you can go and have a look at that bit there. I might just take the other path though. I might slip there. No, I managed to do it. And we've still got a wagon actually in there. I can see the wagon. And this is where the ones that escaped ended up in here. But I do believe this is the same place where there was once a crash. Right here. And that wagon could well be part of that old crash. But here is where they finished. The carts that escaped, they ended up here. And I've got a hazardous guess that it was also here where the crash site was. But I'm not 100% sure. Sleepers here. So we're back on the High Peak Trail, and this time we're on the Cromford side, the Cromford Canal side, and we're going to go across top to a place called the Dingles. There's also an old engine house up there, and then across the top we'll show you how you can go back down the other side, and then across Black Rocks and across to where we were when we came with unseen footage, when we went to Harbour Rocks in that direction. The catch, yeah, it's to do with the runaway ones, isn't it? Runaway wagons, there we go, sometimes occurred on the inclines. On this slope they could reach up to 120 miles per hour. I can believe that. In 1888 there was a spectacular accident here involving a brake van carrying gunpowder. Wow. By the way, the brake vans are them ones that we saw earlier on, the red ones, yeah? 2 years later, this catch pit was built to prevent a serious accident at the workshops or main line below. If you look inside the pit, you can see that it worked. And that's where we've just been, in that little bit there in the middle. So yeah, it was here then, where the accident took place. Right then guys, we're going to carry on up the High Peak Trail on the old Cromford and High Peak old railway line.